we'd maybe been in Pakistan for 2 days. We were in Lahore on Mall Road. We were buying shalwar kameez.
Right.
And we're in the shop, and then like we're trying on the clothes, and the next thing this other guy's just like, oh, that one looks good on you. Like, and he didn't work at the shop. He was just some guy.
We've come up from Lahore, which is busy, chaotic, old town city with its own vibe, and then you get to Islamabad, and it's cool, it's green, it's a lot calmer, well planned, and then you move up into the mountain.
There was a lack of perception. It was the unknown, really. I didn't know what to think of Pakistan, and until they had mentioned, do you want to come, I probably hadn't really considered it a destination.
No, the reality still needs to be communicated to the right people who want to know about Pakistan. Every country has their problems, and it's not the first time. It's been quite some years I'm into this business, and I meet people on a daily basis. So that's exactly what they've been telling me as well. There was this guy, when we told him we are going to Pakistan, and he was like, are you guys crazy? Are you guys out of your mind? Are you sure you guys are going to Pakistan and everything? And it was shocking.
We had an idea to come to Pakistan, and people are going, oh, like, that's strange. Or even some people are asking us, like, why would you go to Pakistan?
We were going on treks, and we could be up in the mountains or at a base camp or anywhere, and there was always someone to serve us a tea and have a chat with us.
Hello everybody tuning in, this is Arif Hussain and welcome to the very first podcast episode of Exploria Experiences. This is the show where we bring in different travel adventurers from different corners of the world and try to, unfold their adventure stories and experiences. Having said that, let me tell you our podcasts are not just going to be some guest travel stories. Surely they're going to be interesting ones full of adventure and their experiences. But there are going to be some virtual travel guide for people out there who want to seek some serious travel tips from our guests. So stay with us till the end and get ready for a fun ride. So today we do not have one guest, we do not have two guests. Luckily we have three guests, Luke, Chris and Nick, who are from Australia, who have just completed their 2 weeks trip to Pakistan. So they have joined in. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Before I start with your Pakistan travel experience, I would appreciate if you guys could, introduce yourself to our audience who are listening to you.
Yeah, hi, my name's Luke, late 30s from Newcastle, Australia.
Hi, everyone. I'm Chris. I'm also in my late 30s from Sydney in Australia.
And my name is Nick, and I'm also from Newcastle in Australia, and the three of us met at uni getting on to 20 years ago, pushing it, and we've sort of travelled together in different groups, that kind of thing, over the past 10 years or more, and this was us getting back together and having another trip together.
How long has it been like you guys know each other?
Oh, I think over 20 years now. Like, we started studying together in, I think, 2006 or maybe even earlier. We've also lived together as well in different houses, so we're good friends. These two live still 1 block away from each other, but I'm a bit further away, but it's nice we can come together and travel.
Right. So Luke, I've been checking on your profile as well, it came as a surprise, you have traveled more than 70 countries, if I'm right. More than 70 countries. That's crazy, 70 countries. So I'd love to know the inspiration, what is your inspiration behind being a traveler? And also, is there any specific traveler who kind of, inspired you to to travel so often?
Look, I never set out to be a traveller. I always had the image of, settle down with the wife and children. It was actually, as part of our university, we had to do some mandatory work experience. That was paid, and at the end of that, we were able to save some money, and us three boys got together and did a trip to Eastern Europe. And
that's how the story began, basically, initially. And you were talking about it was, when was it? Year it was back in?
That was 2009.
2009 you guys started it off. Nice.
Yeah, and from there, I suppose I got bitten by the travel bug and have been travelling ever since. And
so that's when you kind of, explored yourself, you're a guy who can do this, and traveling is something you can do. So is it you work to travel, or is it you travel to work? How you put it?
It's definitely work to travel.
Also, like you work, you save money, and you are always on the go. Like, let's go do this country, and next time let's do this country. So how it goes for you?
Yeah, it is. So I definitely have countries on the bucket list, but it's also signed up to many different flight carriers and whatever. If a cheap flight comes up, I'll jump on it and, calling the wife while she's at a uni lecture going, hey, got these cheap flights to Maldives.
Right.
Do you want to go? It's these dates. Sure, I'm teaching.
Right. So like that's interesting though. But like you said, you have traveled more than 70 countries. Like honestly, if I try to remember 70 countries by heart, I'm not sure if I can name them right now. But 70 countries, that's something. And people like you guys are like walking books, I must say. Like I'm sure you meeting 70 different nationalities, meeting people from 70 different countries. There's something. So like as a traveler, what do you say? Like what are the major perks of being a traveler? Like how do you say it? Like what makes it different? Like, I'm sure while spending so much time, efforts, money after and planning, obviously that's a major part. Like when you plan before you're going somewhere. So you could have done something else as well, right? You could have like invested all that money somewhere. You might have made some assets for your life. But what are the major perks? How it helps you basically? How it kind of satisfies your soul within, like you have done the right thing?
Well, I think travel is an investment, to be honest. Like you said, you learn a lot of history, a lot about geography, a lot about politics, a lot about culture, and a lot about people. That's hard to get anywhere else. It's essentially paying for self-improvement, education, knowledge, but you get to have fun and great experiences along the way.
Yeah, that's how it works for you. So again, coming to Chris, like choosing Pakistan as like how different was choosing Pakistan as your next travel destination? I mean, how did you make up your mind behind it?
Yeah, I think it was a very different place for us. Like normally when we're talking about places to go, people have made that recommendation for us. They're like, oh, you should go here. It's great. You should try that. This one for us was something where we had an idea to come to Pakistan and people are going, oh, like that's strange. Or even some people are asking us like, why would you go to Pakistan? And in some ways that actually made us want to go more. Because we heard it's like an amazing place and we're watching some videos about it and we're thinking, hey, maybe this is like a big secret and maybe this is something that would be really great to travel here. So we started doing some research. We saw some amazing sites and we just jumped in and booked some tickets.
Right. So is it like just doing research, or were there some friends as well who kind of, pushed you to go for it? Like maybe some friends from Pakistan or maybe was it only the social media you see that you just Googled it up and you found Pakistan and you just read some reviews and you thought that's it, we are going for this country.
Yeah. Look,
so how different was it?
Yeah, look, I think there was certainly some social media and there was this one YouTuber called Carl Rock that is a New Zealand guy. He's traveling around Pakistan and that was a big inspiration. Also, I had some colleagues at work who are from Pakistan or they have families from Pakistan, and I was talking to them, and they're going, "Yeah, don't believe the media. Like, actually, it's great."
That's what you've been told before.
Yeah. Right. Certainly, like a lot of the media portrays Pakistan as unsafe.
That's one of the. I must say, I'm sorry, I'm cutting you off, but that's something. The reason behind doing these kind of podcasts is, you see, like the reality always stays behind. Like what media shows, that necessarily is not going to be true. Like I know as a country we do have problems. Like I'm saying it being a Pakistani as well. I'm not saying just because like I have to say it. I'm for the sake of saying it. I'm saying it just because I mean it. Every country has their problems, and it's not the first time. It's been quite some years I'm into this business, and I meet people on a daily basis. So that's exactly what they've been telling me as well. Like Arif, there was this guy, when we told him we are going to Pakistan, and he was like, are you guys crazy? Are you guys out of your mind? Are you sure you guys are going to Pakistan and everything? And it was shocking. And then after doing a Pakistan tour, once their tour got completed, and it was totally opposite, you see. They just saw it for themselves. Like we do have problems, every country has problems, but the reality still needs to be communicated to the right people who want to know about Pakistan. So you were saying like it was...
Yeah. And to be honest, it's a little bit different, but Australia sometimes suffers from perceptions that every animal will kill you. You'll get bitten by a spider or a snake or a shark, and then you're dead. So, it's for different reasons, but people have these perceptions, and certain, like, the media can blow up certain stories a lot. Even TikTok and things, like, it really, like, pushes an idea. But yeah, I got to say, like, having come to Pakistan, the reality has been fantastic, and it's it's been a really enjoyable trip for us. It's been great.
Great. So, like, Chris, were there any specific destinations that you were particularly interested in before coming to Pakistan? Maybe you might have Googled up about Pakistan, and you might have found some places like, this is the place, there I want to go, this is the place, that's my place, that's my kind of place, you know what I mean? So, did that happen to you?
We started with the idea of big mountains, because where we're from in Australia, we only have I mean, you've seen the pictures, right? It's like, you're like, where's the mountain?
All those hills, right?
So we saw the big mountains, and then we were, like, on Google Maps looking like, where are the biggest mountains, and then we kind of worked it from there. We found some particular sites like Rakaposhi and also the cold deserts near Skardu, and then we started to build a trip around that.
Right. So now I'll come to Nick. Nick, let me keep it short for you. Like, have your perception changed, like, before and after coming on this trip? Like, what you thought initially about Pakistan, like Pakistan would be something what you heard of and what you saw on social media and maybe on YouTube, like that guy that you've been telling me, the YouTuber from New Zealand, I forgot his name. Is that what it is, or like has any perception changed, like before and after this trip?
It has. In some ways, Luke and Chris came to me and asked if I wanted to go to Pakistan, so the idea had already formed before it came across to me, and it's more so there was a lack of perception. It was the unknown, really. I didn't know what to think of Pakistan, and until they had mentioned, do you want to come, I probably hadn't really considered it a destination. I hadn't really considered what it would be like to travel across the country. So I think it's more so it's formed a perception based on the reality of travelling it. I was really surprised just how much it changes from the southern parts of Pakistan to up north in terms of the geography and culture and the food. It's just been a really different experience at each spot on the trip.
Right.
I would say I've been surprised, sort of overwhelmed with just how friendly and hospitable everyone has been. It surpasses how Australians would treat travellers, I think. It's been an amazing, welcoming experience.
Right. So, like, talking about the hospitality, like, did you get a chance to meet any locals? Like, did you make any friends, obviously, other than me? How was the experience like? How was it like? Did you get enough time? I know it was. I know this podcast thing was not on the menu. It came as a surprise, and you were after your itinerary. You were going after the places you always wanted to do. But still, you might have met some people down the line, maybe in different places up north. So,
we
how was the experience? Like, did you get to make some local friends as well?
There was, I think, from both sides, a lot of curiosity between us and Pakistanis, and it felt like we were going on treks and we could be up in the mountains or at a base camp or anywhere, and there was always someone to serve us a tea and have a chat with us. And it felt that all of these conversations were just genuine and natural curiosity. It wasn't to try and get anything further out of us or for business or anything like that. It was just genuinely to chat and say hello. So I think through the whole trip, it's not necessarily we've made friends for life or that kind of thing, but everyone was happy to sort of discuss how things were going. Would we like a tea?
People were welcoming, and they didn't have any hesitation to come to you and talk to and know you. Like, you see, how was the local community like? Locals, like, they were open to know you. They were open to talk to you, and always, I guess, that's what we have been told by people, like how comfortable people were and yourself, like, getting to know each other and interacting with locals randomly down the line, down the road.
Yeah, it was great. I think Chris touched on earlier, there was probably some perception or I was probably expecting a bit more wariness, or perhaps just caution with us as travellers, like people sort of staying back. But everyone either came up for a chat or to take a photo with us, or all kinds of things. So there was no hesitation from most people. Everyone was really friendly and just sort of would help us out.
Yeah. Like, I was just thinking of, like, we'd maybe been in Pakistan for 2 days. We were in Lahore on Mall Road. We were buying shalwar kameez.
Right.
And we're in the shop, and then, like, we're trying on the clothes, and the next thing, this other guy's just like, oh, that one looks good on you. Like, try this. And, like, everyone was sort of just, you know.
Kind of like suggested you some for you.
Yeah, and he didn't work at the shop. He was just some guy, right? And then the next thing, like, we're telling him how he looks, and he's like, you know, the interactions are very easy and natural. Like, everyone's curious and wants to say hi and have a bit of a chat.
Right. Talking about the natural beauty, how you find the natural beauty of Pakistan, or like, is there any specific place that you'd like to, you know, recommend to your other fellow travelers out there who are watching this show right now? Like, is there any specific place, since you have like explored a bit of Pakistan, not all of Pakistan, but at least in your given time, is there any specific place that you like kind of loved it and you feel like one should go there and explore it?
Yeah, I mean, without blowing it up too much, everything was pretty amazing. Like, it's actually really hard to pick like a favorite place, but like the Karakoram mountain range is incredible. Like, it's so big, and like we were losing track of the scale. It's so big for us. So anyone who comes from a flat place, any other Australians out there, or anyone from a place that doesn't have mountains, go to the areas in the Karakoram ranges. We went to Hunza Valley, which was amazing. Areas up through, we went to Rakaposhi and climbed to base camp.
Base camp, yeah. Rakaposhi.
That was probably the highlight for me, I think.
That's what you loved the most.
Yeah, because you have to work for it as well. You have to climb it. Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. What do you think, Luke?
Yeah, I agree with Chris. It's just it's all amazing. There's just wonder around every corner, particularly being from a flat place. The mountains and the scale of things are next to none. But the country is so diverse. Like, we've come up from Lahore, which is busy, chaotic, old town city with its own vibe, and then you get to Islamabad, and it's cool, it's green, it's a lot calmer, well planned, and then you move up into the mountains. You've got Skardu with its cold deserts, various hikes and lakes. I did actually enjoy being Australians. We see water and want to swim in it, so it was nice to jump in a glacial lake and have a swim in the Kameez. But yeah, and then you move on to other places in Hunza, and it's green valleys, trees, orchids, orchards, and
forts
big
and
big lakes, forts, the Pasu cones. I think Pasu was a bit of a favourite. There's some good food options up there, and just being in the Pasu kind of valley, just surrounded on 360 by crazy mountains, and you feel a bit end of the earth, which is nice. Feel a bit remote, so yeah, it's a special place.
Right.
I'd just add as well, particularly in the north, like the environment, the natural environment was beautiful, but it was clear that the people up there also really cared for the environment. They had the plastic-free zone through the Hunza Valley, and there was also a lot of signs to stop illegal hunting. There was no mining in Pasu. It was just clear that the people were working with the environment, and it was definitely to the area's benefit because it was just so naturally beautiful.
Perfect. That's great. One last thing, which is like, I must say, the most important thing about this podcast would be like, what message would you like to convey to the international community, especially people who love traveling, who haven't yet decided to travel to Pakistan, but who are looking forward to, but still they do have so many questions on their mind, and who are not still unable to, say yes to their own, the voice within, like, if we're going to do it. What message would you like, again, convey to the international community, like about Pakistan, obviously, like how you see it as a tourist destination?
I'm sure we have slightly different perspectives, but for me, like Pakistan is an adventure, but you don't have to be an adventure traveler to come here. Like I think people who are comfortable traveling around Asian countries, Southeast Asia or India, it's actually a lot easier in my experience to travel through Pakistan, especially given how friendly the people have been to travel around and just how easy it's been. So yeah, I would really recommend people who are thinking about it, certainly do more research and jump in and have a go.
You haven't asked for this plug, but I would also say, like, we're now a little bit older. We've got work, we've got partners, we've got kids. It really helped us with Exploria because it took out a lot of the logistics. It was really good to just get here and not have to worry about where the next travelling is coming. Like if we get a bus, is it a taxi, whatever. We just got to make the most of our time here. It was only a 2-week period, so Exploria really helped to just get to the best bits and not have to worry about the fuss in between. So that was really good.
Thank you so much. I'm glad Exploria did what it was asked to. Talking about the challenges, like, did you guys face any challenges like traveling to Pakistan? Actually, I'm making traveling to Pakistan for my viewers to, a bit easier to understand the situation here. So that's why I'm bringing up the challenges, and again your message to the international community, like from starting to the end, like what are any challenges? Like, I know this trip has gone smooth, you loved the places, you met so many people, you guys did so many adventures and activities and get to know so many people, and you explored the places you wanted to. Other than that, what could be improved in a way? There were a few challenges, maybe in terms of it could be in terms of transportation, maybe in terms of hotels, or maybe in terms of the local people who are not looking after their places. Like Nick raised a point in Hunza, it's a plastic-free valley. So that's something one should think about, and one should appreciate that. So how can, as a traveler, what would you suggest to our community that this tourism within here can be improved a bit?
Well, look, it is, I would say, a developing tourism industry, and it has been a bigger tourism industry in the past, and it's been great to kind of jump in and get in before it explodes, because from what we've seen of Pakistan, it's got to explode. Like, the place is just incredible. In terms of probably hot tips for the international travellers out there, the ATM situation, so we found that quite difficult.
ATM situation?
Yeah, right. So if you're coming with a MasterCard, international bank MasterCard, not as accepted as Visa. Myself personally, I haven't had too many money troubles across the globe, but I found Pakistan quite hard. My card would only work with one bank, being Standard Chartered. Whereas the Visa was accepted at least at 2 banks. The other one would be print off documentation. Print off, get copies of your passports, and particularly your e-visa. Yeah, it says it's an e-visa, but please print it out. Please print it out. They do stamp it at the border. So that would be probably my 2 hot tips.
But let me add to it, about the e-visa. It's because most of the times people who travel across the borders, you see, like from India to Pakistan, at their times, it is needed a printed one. But most of the times, a granted visa on your mobile phone can do that work for you as well. But of course, if you're crossing the border, it's kind of requirement. It gets there just because the authorities need to stamp it all and make it easier for you so that you could go across. Yes, Chris.
I have one more tip for people, which could be a secret weapon for traveling here as well, which is, at least compared to Australians, Pakistanis live a different time period of the day. We wake up a lot earlier than Pakistanis on holiday. So if you're staying in hotels, make sure you tell them what time you want your breakfast, and it might be a little bit earlier. But it's really good because you can go out and see things, and sometimes you get them completely to yourself, because most of the local traveling in crowd is still in bed. So that's
Right.
like a really good tip. I think if you're happy to get up early, you'll be rewarded in this country.
So like it was you guys up early in the morning before anybody else does, right?
Yeah, we're dragging our driver with us most of the time.
That's a good message, a good one, I must say.
It's probably a personal one, and it's a self-evident one. But believe it or not, the mountains are really high, and if you have a fear of heights, you're going to be found out. So some of the hikes I found very challenging. But the good news is that if you find yourself in a position where you don't want to go higher, or a particular path is too sketchy or something like that, it's beautiful lakes at the bottom. There's always someone for a cup of tea. I had a book. These guys went off and did their insane treks, and I could just relax down the bottom when I didn't have the legs to walk any further.
Right.
And you faced some fears.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
So I hope when you guys go back and people ask you about the Pakistan trip, they're gonna get what it is like, the real experience. How was it like on the field? How did it go and everything? I hope they get to have a real idea, a genuine idea of the Pakistan experience. So I hope this podcast helps people in a way like they get what they're looking up to, and especially people who are watching us out there. Sessions like these, like people having guests with us in a show who have traveled so much, who have traveled miles, who have traveled so many countries, who have met so many people, who have experienced so many different cultures, languages. Would just imagine 70, 30, 20. We get to see people like them who travel a lot. So people out there who kind of who are travel lovers, who are looking forward to some serious travel tips, I must say. So this is the show. These are the kind of people who have already been to so many places. So like they can help you. They can give you some real tips. So you should know who to follow and kind of who to know in a way. So yes, look, were you adding something to it?
I just remember a quote from up in the north. Someone who I was speaking to, we were talking about tourism in this country, and they were saying that the Swiss Alps is like 1/10 of Pakistan's northern areas. So yeah, if you're keen to check out the Swiss Alps, come do it in Pakistan, because there's more than enough, and to get it to yourself, and I'm sure it's a lot cheaper as well.
It is.
And better food.
Yeah.
Better food. Talking about the food, one more thing, like talking about the food, did you get a chance to experience some local cuisine, like some local food? We do have, I know, some spicy recipes when you come to down cities, but when you go up north, we do have the recipe gets a bit different. So when I ask, like, how was your food experience? Some local food, did you get to experience some?
Yeah, well, yeah,
Chris.
we experienced so much food. We experienced a lot of food, and I would say we didn't really have a bad meal, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. It was always good. The Pakistani breakfast is really nice. Like as long as you like eggs, you'll be okay. And then we tried all kinds of dishes, both in Punjab region. We also went to some nicer establishments in Islamabad, and then when we went north, the food changes. It's real mountain food, like very hearty as well. I really recommend it. And to be honest, for my taste, it wasn't too spicy, but maybe for some.
Right. Nick, have you found the local food? Was it worth it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We all love food, and we've all dived in to every meal that was possible, from yak burgers to white karahi to whatever else was on the menu. It's probably been one of the best bits of the trip.
Right. Thank you so much, guys, for being on this show again. Thank you for taking out time. It's been great knowing you and knowing about your travel experiences. So hope to see you some other day soon when you make a plan to visit Pakistan as well. Till then, safe travels.
Yeah, thank you, Arif. It's been a pleasure, but it's also disappointing because we're coming to the end. So,
Thank you. Maybe next time, hopefully, Chris.
Yeah, we'll see you next time. Thanks for having us.
Thank you. You're welcome.